Hi, welcome back to Pania Crochet. Today I'm going to show you how to make these two granny square here, one full one and then a half one which looks like a triangle. And the granny square here measures about 4.75 inches by 4.75 inches, and the triangle on its shorter size measures the same, so 4.75 by 4.75, and then the longer side is about 6.5 inches. Before we talk about the materials and how to make the granny square, I just wanted to remind you that if you have not subscribed to Pania Crochet, please click on the red subscribe button and follow me, and stay tuned for a lot of other videos. So for today, we're using the Big Twist cotton yarn here, and one of these yarn is 131 yard, and this is a category 4 type of yarn, and this black one is in the color black, and the gray one here is in the color pewter. And I just wanted to mention, for this granny square, you only need these 2 yarns, but if you are planning to make a bigger project, you'll need more yarn. Anyways, I'm using a scissor and a f3.75mm hook, and you'll also need a yarn needle here. So I'm starting off with a magic ring, and I'm wrapping the yarn around my finger, insert my hook into the hole, and then pull a yarn over and pull it through. I'm not going to close the circle here. I'm going to chain 1 here, and then I'm going to make 12 single crochets into the ring here. Finally, here I'm at the end of 12 single crochet. I'm just going to pull the tail behind here from the beginning to cinch in the circle, and I'm going to slip stitch into the very first single crochet that was created in this first round. Now I'm going to chain 2 for round 2. And then make 2 double crochet into the same stitch. And then repeat, making 2 double crochet into each of the next 11 single crochets. So you'll have a total of 24 double crochet once you reach the end of the round. Here I'm at the end of the round. I'm making my last 2 double crochet in the very last stitch here, and then slip stitch into the chain 2 that was created at the beginning of the round. For round 3, we're beginning our cluster by chaining 2, yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over, insert your hook into the same stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Again, yarn over, insert your hook into the same stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. And then yarn over and pull through all 4 loops. And we'll chain 1. Then skip the next stitch, and we'll begin making a cluster in the following stitch by yarning over, insert your hook into that next stitch, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert the hook into the same stitch, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, and again yarn over, insert your hook into the same stitch, yarn over, pull 1, and then yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through all 4 loops, chain 1, and then we'll skip the next stitch and then repeat making a cluster and then chain 1 following that cluster. Here we're going to chain 3 and then make another cluster in the same stitch. Chain 1 here, skip the next stitch, make a cluster in the next stitch, chain 1 here, skip the next stitch, make another cluster in the following stitch, chain 1, skip the next stitch, and then make another cluster in the following stitch, chain 3 here, make another cluster in the same stitch, chain 1, skip the next stitch, and then make a cluster in the following stitch, so you'll continue making a cluster, chain 1, make another cluster, chain 1, and in the corner chain space, then you'll make 1 cluster, chain 3, and then another cluster, and repeat it all the way to the end of this round. By the end of this round, you should have 4 corners, meaning 4 of those corners would have 2 of the cluster with a chain 3 space. And between those corners, you should have 2 separate clusters separated by chain 1s. Finally, in this stitch here, I'm making my last corner here. So this is a cluster with a chain 3 space and then another cluster. And finally, we're going to chain 1 and then slip stitch into the very top of that very first stitch. So it'll be this 3rd space right here. We'll slip stitch here, and then for round 4 we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to make a single crochet into the very last chain 1 space from the row below. But right here I'm going to change colors, so I'm just going to yarn over and do not pull through yet. I'm going to get my black yarn and I'm going to attach that to this area. I'm just going to kind of loop this around my finger and then hook it around here and pull it through those 2 gray loops. And as you can see, I'm just making sure that it's not too loose here, so I'm holding that black piece here, pulling it, and then also kind of adjusting the gray one. Yarn over and insert the hook into the next skipped stitch from round 2 below. I'm going to make a double crochet here, and as you see, I'm just pulling on that gray one just to secure it so that's not too loose. And then again, double crochet into the same space 3 times. So we'll have a total of 4 double crochet into that skipped stitch from round 2. In this very last stitch, I'm not going to finish that double crochet yet. I'm going to change my color back to gray. So yarn over and pull through 2. And then in the next chain 1 space, I'm going to make a single crochet. And then in the corner space here where the chain 3 is, I'm going to make 2 single crochet, chain 2, another 2 single crochet into the same space, single crochet in the next chain 1 space. And I'm not going to finish it, switching the color to black. And then I'm going to make 4 double crochet into the next skip stitch from round 2. And again, remember to switch to the gray color once you're almost done here with the 4th double crochet for the black yarn. So you repeat that for 2 more rounds. And here I'm at the last set of the double crochet of 4. I'm making my last single crochet into this first chain 1 space, and then single crochet 2 times in the next corner space, chain 2, and then 2 single crochet in the same space. Skip the next 2 stitches, slip stitch into the first single crochet of this round. Now I'm going to chain 2, and we're making our beginning cluster in the very first stitch here. Chain 1, then yarn over, front post, double crochet 4 together in the next 4 stitches. So that is yarn over, insert the hook behind the first stitch here, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and then yarn over, insert your hook behind the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and then repeat that for all of those 4 black stitches below, and we're going to put them all together. And so for the last stitch here, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and finally yarn over and pull through all 5 loops on the hook, and then chain 1, and then we'll make another cluster in the next stitch here. And chain 1, and into the chain 1 space we're making another cluster, chain 3, make another cluster in the same space, chain 1, skip 2 stitch and make a cluster in the next stitch. Finally chain 1, and then front post double crochet into the next 4 stitch together here, and we're going to repeat this all the way around. So you're making the front post double crochet 4 together, chain 1, make a cluster, chain 1, and then make a cluster into the next chain 1 space following by a chain 3, and then make another cluster in that chain space again, chain 1, and then we're going to skip 2 stitch and make a cluster in the next single crochet, and repeat that all the way to the end. And here I am in the last corner space where I'm making a cluster with a chain 3, and then another cluster followed by a chain 1, and I'm going to skip the last 2 single crochet and slip stitch into the top of that very first stitch from this round. From here I'm going to chain 1 and single crochet into the last chain 1 space from the round below, and then make 2 single crochet into the next chain 1 space, 2 single crochet in the next chain 1 space, and then repeat that again into the next chain 1 space, so 2 single crochet in this space, and in the corner space here we're making 2 single crochet, chain 2, and then 2 single crochet again in the same space, and then just repeat making 2 single crochet into each chain 1 space, and then in the corner space making 2 single crochet followed by a chain 2, and then 2 single crochet again. So once you are in your last corner space here, now we're skipping the last 2 stitch in this round here from below, and we're just going to slip stitch into that very first single crochet of the round. And here you see I'm switching to the black color because I'm making my border black. Chain 1, single crochet in the same stitch, and then make a single crochet all the way to the corner space. And here in the corner, chain 2 space here, single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, and then continue making a single crochet into each of the stitch all the way to the corner space. And when you get back to the next corner space, you're going to make 1 single crochet, chain 1 single crochet in that same corner space. And then finally here at the end of the round, I'm going to slip stitch and then yarn over and just cut off the yarn here, leaving like maybe a 4 or 5 inch of loose end so you can sew it into the back of the granny square. Finally here, I'm just kind of making sure that everything looks okay, and I'm going to sew in all of the loose ends into the back of my granny square here. I like to start off with a little knot and then sewing in the loose end into the back. When you are done, you can cut off the extra loose ends from the back of the granny square here. And here is the front of the granny square with those 4 little kind of heart shape looking like. And now I'm going to show you how to make the triangle version starting with the gray yarn. Starting off with a magic ring here, and I'm going to make a chain 1 into that magic ring first, and then we're going to make a single crochet. So we'll make a total of 7 single crochet into the magic ring. And then finally tug in that loose end behind there to cinch in the magic ring. And then we're going to chain 2. And then for row 2 here, I'm going to turn and make 2 double crochet in this next stitch here. And then we'll make 2 double crochet into all of the next stitches, except for the very last stitch. So here is the last set of 2 double crochet, and into the very last stitch here I'm going to make 1 double crochet. So there should be a total of 14 double crochets. The very first chain 3 is considered a double crochet as well. And then we're going to chain 3, and as you can see here, it's half of that circle from the granny square. So we'll chain 3 here. And then we're going to make a cluster in that very first stitch. Chain 1 here. Skip 1 stitch and then make a cluster in the next stitch. Chain 1, skip 1 stitch and make a cluster in the next stitch. Chain 1, skip 1 and then make a cluster in the next stitch. And in this stitch here, we're going to chain 3, make another cluster into this 2 more times for a total of 3 cluster by itself. Chain 1, skip 1, cluster in the next stitch, and chain 1, and then we're going to repeat doing that all the way to the end of the corner here. So here is the last cluster. And chain 1, and then we're going to chain another one, so 2 chains and then double crochet into the same stitch, and then turn chain 1, 2, and then make 2 single crochet in that chain 1 space, single crochet in the next chain 1 space, and then we're going to switch color here. And then double crochet into that skipped stitch from row 2. And we're going to make a double crochet here in this space, and then we're going to make 3 more double crochet into that same stitch. And in the 4th stitch, then we're going to switch back to the gray yarn. Single crochet into the next chain 1 space, 2 single crochet in the next chain 1 space, followed by 2 chain, and then 2 single crochet again in the same stitch, single crochet in the next stitch here, and we're going to attach the black yarn. And we're going to double crochet into the next skipped stitch from row 2. So we'll make 3 more double crochets into that skipped stitch for a total of 4 double crochets. And in the last double crochet here, we're going to switch back to the gray yarn. Single crochet into the next chain 1 space, and then 2 double crochet in that very first, the space between chain 3 and the cluster from the row below. So 2 single crochet here, chain 1, and then a single crochet in the same space, turn, and chain 5. And then we're going to make a cluster in that very first stitch. Then chain 1, skip 2 stitches, and then make a cluster in the next stitch. Chain 1. Now we're going to make a back post double crochet in the next 4 stitch together. So yarn over and then go behind the first double crochet here, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and then repeat that again into the last stitch, and then yarn over and pull through all of the 5 loops, chain 1, and then into the next single crochet we're going to make another cluster, chain 1, and into the chain 3 space we're making 1 cluster followed by 3 chains and another cluster. And then chain 1, skip 2 stitch, and then make a cluster in the next stitch. Chain 1, and then back post double crochet the next 4 stitches together, then chain 1, and then make a cluster into the next single crochet stitch here. Chain 1, then skip 2 stitch and then make a cluster in the last chain 1 space here. Chain 1, 2, and then a double crochet into the same stitch. For the next round, turn your work here. Then we're going to chain 2 and then make 2 single crochet into that very first chain space. And then repeat 2 single crochet in the next chain 1 space all the way to the corner. And in the corner chain space here, we're going to make 2 single crochet, chain 2, 2 single crochet again in the same space, and then 2 single crochet into the next chain 1 space and repeat that to the end. In the very last chain space here, make 2 single crochet, chain 1, and then single crochet again in the same space. And now I'm just going to cut off my yarn and yarn over and pull that gray yarn through. And as you can see here, I'm just flipping the granny square on its back so I can make sure that everything is not too tight behind here. And the black are all connected, but they're not tight. And here is kind of like a triangle. I'm going to make my black edging around here. So I'm starting off at the 2 smaller angles here of the triangle. So I'm working on the longer side. I'm going to attach my black yarn here, chain 1, and then single crochet into single crochet stitch, and then make 1 single crochet in the next double crochet stitch, and then 1 more in that same stitch. So when you reach a single crochet, you'll make 1 single crochet. If you reach a row that is a double crochet, you'll make 2 single crochet. You do that all the way to the corner. Finally, here at the corner chain, I'm going to make 1 single crochet into that chain space, chain 2, single crochet again in the same space, and then single crochet into each of the stitch all the way to the corner space. And once here in the corner space, single crochet, chain 1, and then single crochet. And then we're going to make 1 single crochet all the way to the other corner space. Finally, here at the last corner space where we started the black yarn, going to make 1 single crochet stitch here, and then chain 2, and slip stitch into the very first single crochet, yarn over, pull through, and we're going to cut the yarn here and then pull the loose end through. Finally, here I am done with the triangle. Now I'm going to turn on its back and sew in all of the loose ends, and like usual, I'm going to start off with my yarn needle here and make a knot first, and then sew in the loose end into the project. And finally, cut off all of the loose ends. And here is my triangle version of the change of heart granny square. So I have both of my granny square and the triangle version of my granny square here completed. If you like this video, please let me know. And if you haven't, please subscribe to my channel so that you can see the next video that I will be patching up all of my granny squares together for a fun project. Thank you.